What's up, Bishop? I am
What's
so
up, Stacy?
excited for the show. Like, we've been wanting to do this show about the state of the economy for a few, like almost a month now, I would think. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we always have a bunch of ideas on deck. So
yeah,
this one, I guess, like you said, was in a month for a month
yeah.
on
And
the
I,
on the list.
right. And I like really put a lot of time. I like the shows where, that we go off the top and we just talk, but I also really enjoy the shows where, we got to do a little research. We got to get to the bottom of like what is really going on. And I feel like I have a better understanding of where we are today. Like, why are we here? How did we get here? And
After what? Doing research?
yeah, after doing all this research and, a lot of different independent sources, reputable sources, and, I'm just really realizing how much is so interconnected. Like, everything has a cause and effect. Like, these are all basically like economic principles. And yeah,
That they
I
probably
just,
hopefully they teach in high school
right,
in
exactly. Well,
economics.
I mean, I remember in college I had an econ class. I think it was just like a micro economics class. And I kind of remember the basics.
Yeah, but
I mean,
like but the economy changes. So when we were in college, it's probably the basics are the same, but then there's so many different attributes that have happened in the past few decades. So
right.
I think it's always cool to brush up on it. But I my
Yeah.
one of my sources is Yahoo Finance.
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean
No,
I
Yahoo's at the top of everything. But like, do just some basic terms for me that I think of about the economy? I think of supply and demand. I think of inflation. I think of corporations. I think of the workforce. I think of, the government. I already said corporations. So yeah, like,
I think of my student loan. I think of all the resellers who are effing up the game right now with the toys and the shoes, and also who are selling COVID tests on eBay. Again, you guys are assholes. Like anybody during the pandemic who bought a whole bunch of hand sanitizers to put on Amazon to triple the price, you're an asshole. So yeah,
right.
I believe in capitalism. You said that before. I'm with you on that. But when it comes to being like evil and not helping out the people in the whole, you're an asshole. And that's
Yeah.
the part of capitalism I hate. But with the good, there's the bad with anything.
Right. Yeah. And like everything you just said right there, you probably wouldn't learn in an economics class, but it's extremely relevant. It shows us, you know, like people, we really have the power. I'm
Okay,
sorry. People,
explain.
we have,
Break it
like,
down. Break it down.
like, we have the power to change elected officials. We could change government. We could change policy.
We can keep the Netflix amount at the same amount and not have them bring up the price higher. We can complain about that.
Yeah, like we
Keep it at
really
what, $8.99 or something?
yes, yeah, exactly. Now it's like
Yeah, it's
13.99.
like 13. Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like really $4 more. Come on, but I don't know. I guess they justify it. There's a demand for it.
Well, they lost people on Cowboy Bebop because they had the audacity to make that a live version. So a lot of people got probably bounced out on that. And plus, they're not really, unless you're Korean, there's not a lot of stuff, out there for us to watch unless you're like a foreigner or something. But I guess
What do
Squid
you
Games
mean?
is
What do you
popular.
mean? Like I never even heard of that. What's how?
I
What?
mean, because Netflix has a overabundance of like horrible stand-ups, but then a lot of great like Asian like shows
Okay.
and stuff. But I don't think
Mhm.
a lot of people like they'll give, especially in America, give the Asian shows a chance. I love them. I love them all, and they got all of them. They got Thai, they got Chinese, they got Korean, they got Japanese. most of the time they're all good, but there's a lot of it and not a lot of American shows. So I don't think a lot of people, especially in America, would try them because they think it's not for them and stuff. Except for Squid Games, but the Squid Games got popular only because of it was on their top 10, and then people just like got bored because there's nothing else to watch on Netflix, so they watched that.
And it was raw and it was shocking. Like that was kind of my first like entry point into an international film.
Yeah, but
Or
yeah, series. But they're all like that. Every Korean show, anything Asian is always, it's like that. It's
right.
fantastic. But
it blew my mind.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like a show that's not for us. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't have people commonly see or I'm sorry, which is like in Korean. So you're thinking, oh, it's in Korean, so maybe I can't watch it. But no, they make it in English. They'll put subtitles on there, and right. It's most of the time, 90% of the time, they're all good shows.
Yeah.
Oh, Mexican, Spanish too. Like they got some cool Mexican shows on there too. The Heist, I think Money Heist is Spanish. So
I like Narcos. I watched the first one of that.
But that's American made, ain't it? That's not like a foreign.
Oh, well, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Anything okay. They have a bunch of foreign shows that people in America probably won't look at because it's not in English. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you guys, they're all great shows. Most of them, 90%. Give them a try.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. So, but I missed, like, what were you saying though? Like, because of those shows, like, why did
because of those shows nobody's watching, so people were like leaving, and then they have bad shows like Death Note and Cowboy Bebop, and a lot of stand-ups that nobody cares about. So people are leaving to go to other places like I think Peacock, Paramount, HBO, Showtime, Hulu, or Amazon Prime. Like they're going to other places because they're spending all this money, and for like maybe 3 to 6 to 8 months, they're like, I'm not watching anything on Netflix. Why am I paying for this?
Yeah,
and I'm saying, they have great
will bring the
shows.
Price down. Yeah, that will bring the price down because if everybody starts going to other places, Netflix has to do something to bring us back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did. So they had Squid Games, and then they started making more Korean shows. Then they had The Witcher came back season 2, and then they have Snowpiercer, and then Emily in Paris, and some other shows that came out. Because I like how they have a top 10 to see what's really what's being watched more. Because people will they come home from work, get bored after the gym, and you want to watch something, they look on top 10, what's popping.
Yeah,
that's how
Ozark,
that's how Squid Games got popped.
Ozark
yeah.
is back. I watched that all. I knocked that out in one day. I was up to like 3 in the morning. It's so good. It's so crazy. But so I see what you're saying. Yeah, so that's why the demand is there. They got all the hot shows. They're like, we're gonna charge you.
Yeah, like for me, I keep Netflix because they have all the foreign shows. I like all the Asian shows. So I think that's me personally though.
Yeah, my aunt, I think she watches some Turkish soap opera. She says it's like,
soap opera.
Sorry, soap opera. That's what it is. So, to move this right along here. But yeah, so like everything is interconnected, and we have the power. Period. And like I feel like and then the whole cause and effect everything. One thing affects everything, and I feel like the pandemic is a major, like, before I go there, I just remember like 2017, 2018, about that time, I was really heavily like talking about there was going to be a shift. Just felt it, just knew that something was going to change. This is kind of off weird land, you guys, spiritual. This is just spiritual stuff.
She's but
right. Sorry. So it was like, I just knew there was going to be some kind of shift. I didn't know. Like, I thought it was going to be a good shift. And And but you know what I'm saying? I just always, because I'm very optimistic and I just thought it was going to be something good, but it turned out. But I do believe that all bad things, good comes out of it. So we had the pandemic. The pandemic has affected all of us. Like everything that happens, there's a reaction to that. There's a counter to that. Like, Obama, he was president. So many people were happy. Half of America was thrilled, great man, blah, blah, blah. But there was a lot of people who were unhappy at all the changes that he made. So that brought in the counterculture of like Trump.
And the changes
Okay.
he didn't make.
Right. And he reversed everything that Obama did and put some things in place for him. So many people in America felt like Trump was the man because he wasn't political and he was a businessman, and they thought he was a real businessman. And it was just like a good thing. So that's my whole idea of the cause and effect. But like the pandemic has affected us in so many ways. Like it's affected us, our economy. It's affected our, it's caused something that's been coined as the Great Resignation, people leaving the workforce. And it's just the pandemic has shifted everything for us.
It also brought up teleworking and the fact that we can telework.
Yeah, well, there's, like, okay, so many people with the pandemic, have experienced loss. People have experienced like, just a time to reflect on what they really want out of life. And that's kind of why we're having this Great Resignation, where everybody, like, you guys, it's crazy. It's like, what was the numbers? There's like millions of people who have left the workforce to either quit, they change careers, or they're looking to change careers, or they just are sick. We're sick. People had to self-reflect.
Yeah, I just think people were sick and tired of like
There you go.
working a job that that didn't that their degree doesn't apply to, or the treatment of how of everybody in those positions, or service positions, or like a lower entry position. It's like I'm paying, or I paid like over $50,000 at this school. They gave me this piece of paper that shows that I'm qualified to have this kind of a job, and you're treating me like shit, or I have to do this like service job before I get a real job. Now it's like I can work those jobs in my house, in my apartment, in and not go anywhere, be safe, not waste gas, and still get the job done with Zoom meetings or Microsoft Team meetings, and still get everything done. Because my job in particular, they always said that they would never do this. Then they were forced to do it, and now they're able to do it. And they made a great and very smooth transition. So for me, I'm just like, yeah, you guys are bullshitting and lying. And some corporations are bullshitting and lying because they just don't feel like doing it. Now that they have to do it because the safety of their employees are at stake, they make the transition. That's the part I hate. I hate corporations who are like, oh, we can't do it. You could do it. That's why we have all those IT people. You paying them all that money. They could do it, and I'm not going to say who, but we did it, and I'm glad and mad, because it's like for me, it's like we have a lot of older people there who don't need to be driving every morning on the freeway, especially out here in LA. They got to go through 2 sets of traffic jams. They should be at home taking care of their health, being healthy, eating right, sitting, and not having to worry about going out, driving their car, wasting gas. Like, this is, you look for good and bad. And this part of the pandemic, I'm glad this happened.
Yeah, like
That was very
it's
long.
no, but that's good. You touched on like so many things right there because the pandemic, it's like you said, it is. I mean, I hate to say
Eye-opening.
that yeah, it's eye-opening. It's kind of like revolutionary. It really made people look at their lives and say, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with where I'm at. I'm working this retail hospitality type service job and people are rude to me. I'm out here sacrificing my life to I may get this deadly virus.
Oh, that part. Yeah, that
You
part.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you're like and my employers, they can't provide me with a proper mask. They might put up a little shield or whatever, a glass shield to, keep us separate and try to impose all these different policies, but I'm still putting my life on the line every day. And I think people are tired. People are tired. And a lot of this great resignation started, I guess, around August of last year. And people really thought it was more about, well, this is probably part of it too, where the vaccine mandate started. And, there's some people that left, but our people thought that this great resignation was because of the vaccine mandates, but that's such a like small portion of people that this was all happening prior to the vaccine mandates. People were, they were tired. They were tired of not being valued. They were tired of, not being able to spend time with their families or just live, like, but then, when we did have the lockdowns and people were leaving the cities to work from home, like you were saying, like the telework jobs, like they're the telecommuting jobs. Um, it spurred like a whole new industry, like I guess they call it the gig industry.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? And like all these people just all over the world have put their like lives first or their well-being first and left that low paying, no benefit job and got with companies to where they could work from a computer as long as they have an internet connection. And
From home.
they're traveling the world, or they might have a job with somebody in California, a California corporation getting paid California salary, but move to, what are you saying, like Arkansas or you know
Texas or
yeah, anywhere. Like
Tennessee.
yeah, and it's crazy. A lot of places are, giving incentives to like move and be more free. Like it's called a gig economy, human cloud industry, and also another term was a global gig worker. Lit.
Yeah, the best story I heard was on 60 Minutes, and I don't know if I said this already on the pod, but like this was story was in South Carolina, and this woman, yeah, she quit her job, just had a kid, quit her job. She didn't know what she was going to do. Had a husband though that was working full time, so they were good on that part, and I'm pretty sure she saved money too. But they got a house. Still, again, South Carolina. I don't know how much the rent is, but it sure isn't like LA or California or San Francisco. But anyway, she later decided to go back to work, and she went through one of those, organizations like you were saying, the gig ones. Like I think it's WeWorks with an X or something.
Yep. Yeah.
They matched her with not one, not two, but three jobs executive assisting.
Oh
So
wow.
she works, I think she says she works all three and teaches because that's what she really wanted to do. So not only did she take a break for her mental health and to figure out what she wanted to do, had a supportive spouse, kid, house on the, what I'm saying? Then when she's ready, she went back into the workforce and went in it and is able to work at home and
Mm-hmm.
be efficient.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. They save
Yeah.
money on gas. They say, they could, save money, period, afford the things, and they could, in life, and live comfortably, and,
Yeah. And spend
have for
time
the,
with each other.
and yeah, be with the kid, and they don't have to hire a nanny because mom is right there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I
It's like
mean,
quality
it's
of life.
great. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I think people are starting to realize like money is not everything. I mean, it's helpful. It's
It's
definitely
very
helpful.
healthy. I mean, I could use a little.
Yeah, no, and that's what we
I could
want.
use a little bit.
But also a lot of these jobs that people are leaving are like not very well, not all, but a lot of the service hospitality jobs are low paying. And so it's like you're working all these 40, multiple jobs and not even making enough money to like live.
Well, like you said earlier, though, it's well, I live in Los Angeles, and for me, like, all the service jobs out here are great. Like, the places are great, the locations are great, the people might not be great, but like the pay, and wherever you are in the location is great. But I don't know about the benefits, though. I'm not really sure about the benefits.
Yeah, you're not getting benefits.
But I mean, you could have like two part-time service jobs and pay rent. You know what I mean? Or have a roommate and still pay rent, and still have a little chump change to play
If
with.
there's no pandemic, if the doors are open.
Right. But then that's the part, right? There's the part, that's what I'm saying, that the people aren't, because we don't know who, wear mask. People are bitching about masks, the pandy, when we don't know who has it. All these, it's
It's
just
too
that
risky. It's
that's the risky part of it, right? Yeah.
yeah, the risk and reward isn't worth
But as
it.
long as you're masked up, you know what I mean, and you're servicing people that you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody's asking for the barcode QVC if you have a vaccine or not in the restaurants. I think they do in the bars, but not in the restaurants. So it's
Mhm.
like, you don't know. So, as long as you're keeping your mask on, you should be good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you have the right mask and all that stuff. But like even so, like the other part of this like thing where with the Great Resignation that I think people really just need to, evaluate and do what you love, do it, and if you're not doing what you love, get new skills because all those service jobs, I don't care if you're a grocery store worker or a lawyer or like a paralegal for a lawyer, you're
Mhm.
gonna be replaced with a robot. Like that's where we're going, like in the next 10 years. And some economists are like pretty not too worried about it because every time, in the like historically, when there was a big change or when, something industrial came in or technology replaced workers, like it got rid of workers, but it also created a whole new workforce or industries that they didn't even know about that would be created. So it's like robots are going to take those types of jobs, but they're going to need people to operate the robots. They're going to need people to program the robots. People are going to
Maintenance.
need to, yeah. And there's even jobs that are going to exist that we don't even know about right now. And that's kind of the scary part is a lot of economists don't know exactly what is going to happen, especially because the rise, like they have all these charts and every forecast but they're saying like, this is the point in history where automation or things being automated hasn't happened as fast as it's happening. Like it's happening exponentially. So like they're getting rid of truck drivers. They're getting rid of lawyers or paralegals. Like I saw a robot or a computer go through a contract and they got it done in like 30 minutes. And this other guy, he was an actual paralegal doing the work. He didn't even do it right and it took him longer.
But
So
the computer did it right with the quality control. Really, there's like certain
it
things.
was called Law Geeks. Law Geeks, bro. Like it was crazy.
Mm,
I was blown away. I was blown away. I was like, are you playing with me right now? Like read the contracts, read, and I was
mhm.
like,
I mean, they got
and
robots making beats now, so I'm not surprised. But I am kind of leery, uh, skeptical about it. But you're saying it was accurate.
it was accurate. And the human didn't even find the fake clause that was in the
Mhm,
agreement. And I think that was on Vox. I saw that on a Vox documentary.
mhm.
And but I'm just saying, like we like right now, like people, I'm glad that they're trying to, find what they're passionate about. I'm glad that they're realizing that, the quality of life is more important, but we also need to be prepared for this change.
What
And
happens to the old guy? What happens to the old guy who's used to manual labor, not trying to go back to school, got kids are in college or out of college or whatever, not trying to, he wants to work, but ain't trying to like, go back to school for this education. Does he get pushed on the wayside? Does he become not homeless? Because, probably hopefully he has
well,
savings or whatever, but like,
yeah, or
does he
retirement.
retire early?
Yeah,
No.
but what happens is, I don't care if you're on the right or the left. Historically, when all these great, technological advances happen, there were riots and people got violent and people overturned governments and there's civil war, and you know what I mean? So, and we all know that majority of the people aren't going to understand this. A lot of people don't like change, and a lot of people, their natural reaction is to fight and to tear up and destroy. So before all that happens, and it's gonna happen if we don't also get our workforce more skilled to be able to, maneuver and operate in this autonomous world that's coming with the robots, with artificial intelligence. Like it's happening. Like there's no like all this stuff that's happening right now, you guys, I'm trying to tell you, they are getting rid of workers. Like it's because and it's because corporations don't want to lose money. Like it's not about, government population control. Like it's not enough workers to do, like if everybody got a job, all these jobs that aren't filled right now, if everybody worked, there still wouldn't be enough workers to sustain the corporations like projections, and how, because corporations have a gang of money. They've been having money, like, so they're just trying to make more money. But the thing that's kind of scary is there's not enough consumers, and our like systems in America are also very antiquated and can't keep up with the demands of the consumer. So
Well,
people got to get skilled. People got to get skilled.
we're gonna have another Occupy if
Yeah,
if the tech stuff happens. I mean,
it's gonna
that's
happen.
what's gonna happen because
Yeah.
then the other side is like provide education for those people. Let's say you're a corporation and you're switching to more animated or whatever, more tech savvy workload. Like
They got
keep
people flipping burgers. They got robots flipping
like
burgers.
keep those people and maybe educate them so you can keep those people instead of firing them and replacing them. Like you know I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
they
I'm
need,
not McDonald's. I don't have a
right,
robot flipping burger, so I don't know what the
right,
future's gonna hold. But
right.
I don't know. Like you can't. I mean, you can, but I mean it's cold blooded. But we're gonna fire everybody and then put the robots in, and then like have IT just support just chilling in the back. Who's gonna take
Well,
this? Who's
well,
gonna take the
well, there's,
the service from the customers?
well, some people, well, they have kiosks. They have, you could walk up to
And you know what's
McDonald's. Like,
funny? They already have at least one in each one.
yeah, McDonald's, you go up to McDonald's, you put your
Yep,
order
I've
in.
seen it.
That's
I've
it.
seen it. Yep. So they're slowly integrating this process. I see
But
that.
what
I
were they
see you
supposed to do?
guys.
But what were they supposed to do? People weren't wanting to work these jobs. People were sick. This is so important. This is why the government was trying to get us vaccinated. They were trying to keep us healthy, because when people are sick, well, who's going to do the work? Robots don't get sick.
And then
Robots don't catch viruses.
the other part is you don't get, no more homie hookup, because the robots are going to be like, oh, hey, Bishop, what's
You
up?
save on costs.
Let me slip in an extra fry in the bag to my homeboy. like that part, there's, the customer service part of it, the interaction. You don't have to worry about that kind of drama if there is. You know what I'm saying? But there won't be any more like, I guess giving food to homeless then. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how they're gonna do it. There has to be some. I will say this: everything you're saying is correct, but the workforce is going to get smaller. Instead of like 10 people in the kitchen, it's going to be 5. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's going to entirely be like.
No, they need operators.
Yeah. So not even that though. Like people like to give just service. You know what I mean? Like the manager will have to be there. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, your thing is wrong or something like that.
What about the Amazon stores? The one that's in San Francisco. What about, I just saw this.
Oh, is that in San Francisco where you just walk in and get your stuff and walk out?
Yep. They got one in San Francisco. I just started following this one company. They're in North Carolina, and it's an organic grocery store. And you place your order on your phone, and you could go in and you just get your stuff. Like you don't have to exchange money. You don't have to do anything like that. And then on top of that, if you don't want to go to the store, they have these little robots that will deliver it to you.
Yeah, I always wanted to be like create a neighborhood full of like old storage tanks, and then have us like gated out. This is my my neighborhood idea. And then rent's affordable and all that stuff, but like we are on the map of all the drones, from Bezos drones to anybody who uses drones, so people don't have to leave their house, like you said, and get delivery stuff, get stuff delivered. I mean, and then don't have to worry about like the delivery driver throwing your stuff, because I've had that
or
done.
Eating your fries
from from post.
See, people, we got to get our act together, because you guys are messing it up. You scammers.
That's true. You villains, you stealers.
You know what I mean? Like people are tired of that shit. People are tired, and they're coming up with solutions.
I mean, this is what, like, to me, like, I don't know. I mean, as a Black man, back in the day, like when I walk by another Black man, you give a little head nod and keep walking. You know what I'm saying? That's saying, "What's up, brother?" All that stuff. Nowadays, especially with the young Black men, they don't do that. And I think it's because of the social media and the lack of like communication one-on-one. You know what I mean? There's not that and just being Black period, I think that's and us dating other races, I think that's dying too. As far as our connection with Black people, you know what I'm saying? Because
or just people in general.
I give a head nod to young men, and then they're like, I don't know you, nigga. Like, why is he? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it. What's up? Like, I do it to a 50-year-old. He might do that, but he might think I'm also young too. So he's always probably like, why is this young nigga? Anyway, so I just stopped doing it completely. But like, I think that's due to the cynicism of people as a whole, especially out here. Nobody wants to be friends unless you're in the same wheelhouse or whatever. Oh my gosh. And it's there's no communication. Everybody's looked at as competition.
Yeah. LA was really bad. I remember that when I moved to LA, like I was like, hi, like when I saw Black people, I was like, yeah, and they would just be like, and look at your shoes. Like they wouldn't even it wasn't even look in your face. It was like, look at your shoes. Like, okay.
Barely any compliments. Like I get more compliments from like other races than my own people, because it's to them it's just like jealousy or envy or something.
Yeah, well, LA is a whole different beast. It's not too bad out here. Like people still speak just in general people
Out
speak a little
here,
bit.
you're talking.
Sacramento,
Right.
so Elk Grove, Northern California, gang,
North
Niner
Cal,
gang.
South Cal. But yeah, so I think the I think this transition is going to be easy with the younger folks because they're already used to that. They were used to like not communicating one on one. You know, everybody's talking about DMs and oh, what's your TikTok, what's your Instagram instead of what's your phone number.
Yeah, babies know how to use iPads, like
Yeah, they FaceTime is normal for them. The Jetsons is real. You know what I'm saying? Like for
exactly.
them, it's just normal.
Exactly. Oh, and here's the market, the grocery store. It's the first Black-owned autonomous grocery store in the
Oh
world.
shit.
It's called Nourish and Bloom Market, and they're based out of North Carolina. And it's very impressive. It's awesome. So
I think
so
that would
yeah,
be cool to have. I mean, I think not was it Whole Foods or whatever Bezos is doing. Like I think in the Bezos store is like that would be cool just to have like an account on there, an account on your account on there, and then walk in, get your stuff, and then just leave, bag it up and just leave or scan it or however they do it. That would be awesome. Because I went to Target today and I'm just like, I always use the machines. I rarely go to
the person.
the person now.
Look at you getting the
I
ushering
love it
humans
because
out.
I ain't got time for it. I do it myself. I got hands.
I ain't got time for you your attitude. You not
Yeah.
saying
I don't got
hello.
time for all that. I don't need. Yeah, I need that part too. Like I don't need the hellos. I don't need. I don't.
Yeah.
Because I always remember one time when I went to Tower. I don't know. If you guys remember Tower, but Tower Books, and I bought this kind of racy book. You know what I'm saying? Because they had a clearance sale. So I bought this racy book. It had like BDSM stuff in it, right? For reference. Anyway, so I bought it, and the lady at the clerk was like, "Oh, you like this stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like the latex and all that. I like it. It's cool." And she's like, "Oh, I just didn't think you don't look like you would like this stuff. Like I'm supposed to be in all black or have like gauges in my ears or something. You know what I mean? Like I had baggy pants on and a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
looking, very urban. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So she stereotyped me. It's like I didn't. What if I took offense to that? I would have been like, "Give me my book." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, so now I could just scan that shit, put it in the bag, bounce.
Okay, don't need all that extra. Yeah. No, I mean, so like there's a lot of benefits for robots. But one thing I did want to bring up,
but no, I will say real quick, this is going to be the decline of civilization though, because the communication is part of a civilization. Now that part's going to be gone. Go ahead. Except for the metaverse.
Right.
It'll be reclaimed in there, but still you're dealing with fake people with avatars that don't look like them, so you're gonna have to deal with that part of it.
Yeah, like I know, I really wonder what human interaction but it might not even be valued. It might be something of the past. It might be something that's will be gone. And I don't know how that will work for the human psyche and mental health and spiritual, because there is a necessity of community or to, fellowship with human people and touching, like that's a part of the human experience, to have a healthy human experience. So unless they come up with a new way of fulfilling that, or is there going to be like there's like an underground world? Well, they're also making suits, like
they got them already.
Yeah, where you could feel in the metaverse. So
feel.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're working on that to where you could actually feel. Mark Zuckerberg was talking about that. But like, to answer your question about, how are they gonna like get like people who want to up their skills or change industries or get, become a programmer or whatever. School is an answer, but school is very expensive. So a lot of people are starting nonprofits. There's a lot of venture capitalists that are like investing in nonprofits to provide workshops and,
I need that. I need all that.
Yeah, like and give like if there was it was called Rome, look up Rome, and there was another one out of New York,
Rome,
like ROAM,
is it a word?
like a commune, like a professional commune. It's a
Or
co-working, yeah, co-working market. Oh, that's what they were calling them, digital nomads and independent workers. That's the other. So, there's a lot of organizations that are training people, like, because they know that this is a need, like this is a real need that's happening. And because robots are coming, y'all. The robots are coming. Like it's done data. Like, but and this guy, not this guy, you know who it is, Andrew Yang. He was a
that's my
presidential
man.
man, he is amazing. Like, I want him to be the president 2024.
Right there. I love that dude.
He is a genius. He is so personable. He gets it. He makes sense. It's not a lot of fluff to him, but his whole UBI, or universal basic income, or or what do you call it? Yeah, universal basic income, the freedom dividend. I think that's what he's calling it. It's it's where, because he had to call it that because I guess it's freedom sounded better for Republicans, he was saying. But he's giving people, his plan, his policy would be to give each adult 18 and older $1,000 a month.
Yeah, but where's that coming from?
It would come from a VAT tax, like a luxury tax. He doesn't really necessarily believe in taxing the wealthy because it's not helpful, basically. But there's a like a VAT tax, he's calling it, some kind of luxury tax on goods that.
Oh, on goods. I don't necessarily agree with that, but keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but that $1,000 is to help people to, kind of like, it's not to, it's to supplement income, but it's not to like keep people from having another job, or but it's also his idea was to make things easier for people, and that money would go into education or reskilling, hopefully. Like,
look, we got like 2 million rich people who, millionaires out here. They can't, why are they paying equal tax
or no tax?
Or no taxes? Saying, finding loopholes through their accountants and lawyers. Like, that's not fair.
Right. But that's why they have so much money. That's why they have
Exactly.
so much money.
Exactly, dude. That's
like it's terrible. Think about it. Like Amazon, he's a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever, and his employees do not like the work environment.
There's no cap. There's no taxes. They're getting off scot-free. They're finding all these loopholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not conducive to of society. Like, I'm glad they were able to do that, and now they're part of culture now. You know what I mean? But it's like it's not. There's no fairness. I'm not saying everybody.
And people
see
that, and people see that, and that people are seeing that.
If you tax the rich, if you tax 2 million millionaires, and who will be fine, by the way, they'll keep making money. They'll be fine. We could do so much more with that money. And then the $1,000 a month would be feasible. But how long would they get the $1,000?
Your entire life.
Really?
Your whole entire life. He said from 18 on.
Because at first
they went. Yeah, that's what he was saying too. Like in Alaska, they give people like, I think it was like $8,000 a year.
But look, it's Alaska though. Like, how many people?
And it's a deep red Republican country or state, and he was saying that they've been having this dividend because it's not welfare, it's not like an entitlement.
Yeah, they've had it for a while,
for 37 years.
Yeah, and they've been fine. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're good with it. Like,
but it's Alaska though.
But and the way they pay for it is a tax on the oil, or the oil up there. somehow, they're making money. But okay, in defense of corporations, they're saying that if they're taxed, then, they have to let workers go. Okay, well, they are about to let workers go. They're putting robots in for workers. So that's going to help. I mean, they'll have a initial cost to buy all the robots and maybe like maintenance of robots. Ooh, people should get into electrical engineering anyways. So like, they're going to need people to maintain the robots or whatever. There's going to be cost for that. But the corporations, they're going to have the money for the taxes. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. So yeah.
So if you get it, because like that's what they're saying is that if we're taxed, we have to get rid of the labor force. Okay, you get rid of the labor force, you bring in robots, you should have money for that.
My thing is like
maintenance isn't gonna be that much.
Exactly. My thing with people, like with corporations especially, they lie. Like they'll lie to keep their employees until they don't need them anymore. They lie to the public to keep, the investors in, but so they can make inside changes. They already know they're probably going to do this. You know what I mean? They know the changes they're going to go through. They've had these meetings. They have meetings every day. Yes. They already know that all this is going to happen, but they're not going to tell you that. They're going to keep telling you the same story through their press releases or whatever. And then like a year down the line or 2 years down the line, they're like, oh, well, we changed. And then everybody's going to be shocked, but people in the office they already knew this was going to happen. Right. But they can't tell you what they're going to do, because what if somebody else bit their idea?
Yeah.
Or, shit like that.
Yeah, people and their shareholders know what they're gonna do. Like this week,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I've learned so much about a lot this week. Even though I was, even though I was in so much pain and dying, I had a really bad.
She had an ear infection, y'all.
I had a really bad ear infection, guys. But it allowed me to get involved in stocks.
But with my time, while I was on my deathbed, I was on the internet.
Exactly. I was on my app. Like I'm on my
Oh, she got it. She had an ear infection. She took the time to get on investments and stuff. She bought hella cryptocurrencies.
Right. So like
my ear hurt, but I'm about to invest in this.
Exactly. And I already came up.
Coin or whatever.
I already came up in 3 days. But my thing is that these companies, they have to tell shareholders what they're doing. They have financials, they have analysis, like
they have obligations to do that,
yeah, to keep their shareholders happy. So you guys, like, it's happening. Like, don't be late to the situation. Like, we're telling you right now, like, get skilled, start saving money. And that's one thing the pandemic ushered in as well is the self-reflection, the quality of life, and people started investing. A lot of people got into cryptocurrencies, and there's a lot of different things emerging right now that were ushered in with the pandemic, like the metaverse, the NFT game, that reseller game. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, you guys. Like this is a big shift. We're inside of the shift, and I mean they're projecting like what are we in 2022? They're saying like 2025, 2030. It's all different. So like it's if you want to go to school, you have time to go to school. But there's also look into a lot of nonprofits. There's a lot of nonprofits that are trying to skill people for this next step of automation and online robot society.
Do you think we'll still have a middle class? Because I hate when people, I don't hate, but like, there's people who are like, oh, there's only going to be poor and rich. And I'm like, I don't know.
If we get skilled and we learn how to operate robots.
Yeah, because the rich people are making money off of the middle class. Like, how can they make money off of poor people when poor people don't have any money? So I don't get that when people, economists and futurists always say, oh, there's going to be poor and rich. Like, no, there's going to be the same thing. We have poor, middle class, and rich, because the rich are making money off of the middle class who are just making the basic living arrangements. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
or
well,
lifestyles.
yeah, well, they're saying, the working class is the new poor, basically. So,
Yeah, but poor to me is the people outside in tents. Like the working class is not going to be intense. The working class is the ones who are paying rent on
well,
houses.
technically, what I heard, like the poverty level is for America, I think it's like under $12,400. So if you're making 12,000 for only making, that's like $1,000 a month, you're considered poor. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's not that's impossible because how is like McFarlane making toys? Who's going to buy the toys? The poor people can't buy the toys even with that concept because they can't afford them. They're going to be paying rent or eating, right? They're not going to be spending money on toys. So therefore, who's going to buy all these, toys? Who's going to
Well,
buy the food? Who's going to buy
that's
clothes?
that's a great transition into our next topic, inflation, because that's what happened with the pandemic. Like when they gave us the stimmies,
Mm-hmm.
that gave people money and people started buying goods and ordering goods and just like in like unbelievable amounts. And our shipping system wasn't prepared. Like our infrastructure of supply chain wasn't prepared for all the goods that were being imported. And so that's why we're in inflation. That's why everything is costing so much more right now, because there's a demand for stuff, but there's not enough. The stuff is on boats at the ports, like at Los Angeles port, San Pedro. Like go check it out. Like they're saying there's like tens of thousands of containers of stuff just sitting there. And that's why we have inflation. Everything's interconnected.
But why is it
So
sitting there?
because they couldn't get
They lost the key. What's the
bro,
word?
the pandemic. It's the pandemic started it, because like they gave us stimulus, they gave us stimmies. People had money. And that wasn't even a whole lot. It was like 1,600. But the stem people, working class, poor, everybody had money, spent the money, ordered stuff from China. China sent all the stuff, but it was just too much stuff.
Or
It
maybe
was
it's like
just
they're worried about the virus from China. Like they don't want to. I don't know. Maybe it's
no, and no, people were sick. Like people that worked at the ports,
yeah.
like
So
it was.
oh yeah. So they're scared of their items being poisoned.
Yeah, well, that too. People were sick. People in China is where all of our exports, like all of our imports, are coming from China. You know what I mean? And so China was shut down. China wasn't working. China was shut. Well, see, that makes me think. Yeah, China was shut down for a while, but they opened back up and then started. They got a system down because they got all these goods out to us. All these goods are on their way. All these goods are on the boat, but then America got the virus, so couldn't unload the boat, couldn't unload the containers off the boats. And then like what's crazy right now is that in the supply chain, everybody's blaming everybody, and people like small businesses and big businesses are getting jacked because like I was listening to PBS. They had a story on it back in December, and they were saying that the problem like is that all these containers that are just sitting at the ports, it's not that they're not working around the clock. It's not that they don't have truck drivers. It's that they don't have enough. Is what I said is crazy. Okay, like the chassis, they call them chassis, that the containers sit on, that the trucks pull. All those are like, there's not enough of those to connect to the trucks because those are being used to hold all of the containers at the ports. So the trucks are there, the trucks are here, Like there is a driver shortage or whatever too, but that's another problem. But that's not the main problem. The main problem is the chassis that are used to pull the containers are being stored, holding the other chassis that are already off the boats, just posted up. So the trucks don't have anything to pull the containers. That's the problem. That's the bottleneck. And that's why we have inflation.
Because they're not getting their, because people aren't getting their products, so they have to raise prices.
Yep. And then they're jacking and then people are having to pay for storage fees, like millions of dollars, because their stuff is at the ports, and it's not even their fault. Like they can't even get to their stuff. And then there's truckers are having to wait in line for like tens and like hours upon hours just to get in line if they have a chassis. I might be saying it wrong, a trailer to pull the containers, like those big containers that we see on trains.
Chassis, but you could call it trailer too.
Yeah,
chassis.
You know what I mean? So that's the problem. Like, that's the freaking problem, dude. It blew my mind. And it just shows you, like, people think, oh, the government, they're doing this and doing that. No, you guys, like our whole systems of everything is so old school. Like this system of like shipping and all that they call it just-in-time shipping. So with any little minor delay, everything just gets jacked up. Like everything is completely jacked up, and they're saying that it won't get cleared up until later this year. Like it's that bad. But my whole thing, but me being Miss Stock Investor this week, I'm like, who makes chassis? What company makes chassis or trailers? Okay. And what are they made of? And blah, 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 blah. So it's like they gotta make more trailers.
Yeah, but the people who make those, are they gonna raise the prices on the chassis because they need, because
probably.
See, probably. That's so wrong. See,
and what's crazy on top of all of that is the three major like crate or the container shippers are all Chinese based. And the people who make the trailers is a Chinese company based in Southern California. So I'm like, dang, is this like some kind of internal war, warfare? Like,
it's like people who are rich, already rich, who they got generational wealth, they're all good. They still will pinch pennies. They'll still squeeze every penny they can from people who really need it, and that just kills me, man. Like that's some devil shit. You know what I'm saying? That's capitalism, but that is just some evil shit, man. It's like these companies are already struggling. They can't afford more employees because they have to pay you because you raised your prices on your chassis, because we need about 2,000 or 200. And we also want to hire workers. Now we only could hire 2 instead of 50 workers because we got to pay for new trailers and stuff. It's just messed up, man. And then it's like,
no, it's jacked up, dude. It's jacked up. And then the ports are charging businesses for the storage of their items, like millions of dollars.
Yeah, which is
and they can't afford it. Yeah, and that's that. The people who I look to see who owns the Los Angeles port. And it's, it was some department. I'm not sure if it's
for the state?
I'm not sure if it's city.
Federal?
It made me feel like it's not federal. It made me feel like it was either city or state. Or it could be a union type of deal. But yeah, they're jacking people right now, and that's not cool. According to PBS and the guy that was on there, who's like I would say a mid-cap business owner. And he said he can't afford paying millions of dollars of storage fees. And then he can't even send trucks to go get it because the trucks can't pull the containers. Like it's just a mess.
Oh, it's like, oh, it is okay. The city of Los Angeles, the harbor, the LA
Yeah,
Harbor Department.
yeah, there you go. So they're jacking people. They're getting paid like, and I don't know. The city of LA has kind of been under a lot of the leaders there are being charged with different things. So it's a lot of like greed and people
Yeah,
without
which is
integrity.
weird to me, is because like taxpayers pay the city of Los Angeles and the departments of Los Angeles, right? So I don't know. Like we shouldn't be charging space for anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how it
Man,
works. I'm just a guy on the podcast with a
yeah.
champion hoodie.
Yeah, no, I didn't know how it worked either until I looked into it and I'm like, dang, this is crazy. It's like only a few players involved and a lot of people are making money off of this.
So if Ralph's can't pay this storage space anymore, what happens to all the stuff in the containers? They just sit there and rot. Do they jump? Do they dump it in the water?
Well, it's already their stuff.
Does it
You know
go
what I
to
mean?
like
It's already paid
cargo,
for.
Largo?
Right. Like it's already been paid for.
It goes to dollars, all the dollar stores and the 99-cent stores. And
Or they put it in the ocean. They're like, oh, I can't pay storage anymore. Or they have their homies come and take it away when the guy's like, I can't pay $1 million monthly to store that.
it goes to Ross and Marshalls and
The black market. It goes on Etsy, it goes on resellers. Who knows? I have no clue, but it's
like Kroger's gonna be mad. It's like Kroger's like,
but I'm
you
like,
guys
I
bought
hope,
all this stuff. You can't, and now it's in the container going
yeah,
to some other place and not
but I'm
getting no
hope
revenue.
yeah, but I'm hoping it's not food or perishable items because that's gross. Like because I don't want no food that's been sitting up there for 2 years.
Well, they can't. I mean, they have to tell you that like that it's on its last leg. I've been to like supermarkets and it's like the red sticker says, oh, yeah, one more day, and but
Yeah,
that's why it's only costs like $1.
well, everything's going to the grocery outlet at this point. If it doesn't come off until the fall,
Everything's going to food
I'm
source.
good. I'm good. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just crazy right now. Like everything is crazy with the
There's no
economy.
humanity in economy. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about revenue. It's all about
It
like
is.
the human component to finance is so like gone. There's like null and
Yeah.
void. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
But that's why,
the part that sucks.
yeah, and that's why I freaking love Andrew Yang because he calls it people need to be more about like he feels like capitalism is inhumane and but he believes in human capitalism to where
That's
you
what I
take
was saying. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean, like we believe in we believe in capitalism but we don't, I mean we still feel like there could be capitalism but it has to be, you have to respect humans, you have to take care of humans well-being. You know what I mean? If you don't have, well, I was gonna say, if you don't have people, but you still need people to consume. At least these corporations need us to consume. Robots, unless they build robots that consume.
I mean, yeah, it's just like people don't trust other people. It's like,
That could be a scary movie.
yeah, it's like if I'm a reseller and I have Kobe, KRMs, and I, right now they go for like 2 or 3 or whatever because Kobe passed away. But if I have them and I'm willing to sell them for 100 or even $50, I might not sell that low because I'm thinking if I sell it for this, somebody's going to buy it for 50 and then he's just going to resell it for 100 or 200 and gain off of that, which I could gain myself. Like we have some resellers have that mentality instead of just selling it for 50 because you just don't want the shoes anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like people want that selfish value instead of giving it, but you don't know that. Like for me, I do want the red ones because I had them and I want them back, but they're high now because the brother passed away, and it's like now the price is like ridiculous. But I don't want to sell them. I want them. You know what I
Right.
mean? But like
Yeah.
the reseller is going to be like, oh, I'm going to profit because he's not going to profit. I'm going to profit because I have them. You know what I mean? It's like,
But that's where NFTs come into play. And that's where I think NFTs are
oh, I
gonna,
got you, I got you.
you feel me? Like, because okay, like people, I think StockX was even doing that. But okay, let's say whoever makes a shoe, Jordan's next shoe, I don't know if they come out, but Jordan's next shoe or Yeezys come out, you get the Yeezy, you buy the Yeezy, but maybe with that you also get a NFT. So the whoever Yeezy who creates the shoe will get the resale. They'll get the royalty off of that sale. You know what I'm saying?
Who will get
Possibly
the royalty?
somehow.
Who gets the
Yeezy,
royalty?
Yeezy. That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think.
They get the royalty off of the NFT sale.
Or if you authenticate the shoe itself.
But okay, so the buyer is buying it retail, or he's buying it reseller from resale.
Either or, like, okay, so if
Because
you
if it's
buy,
it can't be either. Well, I guess it could be either or. But like
yeah,
if I buy retail and it comes with an NFT, automatically
the authentication of it, not necessarily
of the NFT or the Yeezy.
well, I think the way I'm thinking of it is that the Yeezy shoe is the NFT,
But an NFT,
is this digital certificate. It's just the code.
yeah. So if I
So if
resell
you
that,
sell a shoe that somehow has the NFT tied into it, when the reseller sells it, like that's what they have to do. They have to somehow make it together. So if you resell a shoe,
the NFT has to come along with it.
and
But
then then Yeezy would get a royalty from that.
right, but you'd have to count on it appreciating instead of depreciating. Otherwise, there's no point in buying the Yeezy because right, like let's say right now, like Yeezys are like for they're coming out with the new Yeezys almost every month now, right? So the want for the 750s and all that stuff is getting kind of low. That's why Yeezy came out with the boots and stuff and the slippers or whatever. You know what I mean?
Crocs, yeah.
But so like when I'm on the eBay and Posh, I'm like I've seen all the Yeezys kind of go down in price because nobody's buying them because they can just buy them retail. And now they're all accessible.
There's too many of them. Yeah, they're
which
not
is
rare.
cool.
They're not rarities.
Yeah, they're not rare. But yeah, so it's like imagine if like Yeezy came out with like 800s and they're called I don't know if they're 800. They come out with like 50s, right? It's 50. They call them 50s, right? And these ones come with NFTs. So I buy them retail, which is like $200, right? Since they're new and they're 50s, I resell in the next 6 months for like 400. That next, so I sell it for 400. That person now has the Yeezy 50s and the NFT, but I also had it, right? So not only does Yeezy get paid from that, but I get paid from that. And then this person gets to keep or wear the Yeezys and has an NFT to boot. Mm-hmm. But because I sold it for 200 more, I got 200. Yeezy gets 200.
No, Yeezy would only get a percentage.
Yeah, so
but you still get something. You still get something.
So I get my 2 or whatever, and then Yeezy gets a percentage, and then so on and so on and so on.
Right, but the reseller.
But it comes with a physical shoe, though. So
yeah,
the shoe will depreciate, though.
That would be the utility.
I know, but the shoe will depreciate because who knows, like scuff marks, losing of the insole, the coloration, tears, holes. If that happens to the shoe, because the next buyer who wants that shoe just wants to 50. You know what I'm saying?
But the value's in the NFT. That's I think where it's going. Like that's kind of showing us like the metaverse. actual real human goods isn't going to matter. It's going to be the NFT, the digital print is how
Right.
businesses are
So
probably going to.
I wouldn't have to sell the Yeezy. I keep the Yeezy and sell the NFT. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It's all about the NFT. It's going to be about the NFT. It's not going to be about the actual good, I don't think.
Yeah. So
Now that I hear you talk.
in my metaverse world, my NFT is on the wall. Hey, I bought this new Yeezy 5.0s, but the 5.0s are on my feet. I'm never gonna sell those. I'm gonna keep those. They're comfortable. They make me jump higher. I run faster.
Hey,
And then
look,
NFT stays here. But then when I'm done, when I wanna when it appreciates, because maybe they only had like maybe like 100 or 200 5.0s, right? With NFTs, right? So if I get bored of the NFT, I just sell that NFT. And if I get bored of the shoe, I just sell the shoe without NFT, because I sold the NFT already. But I keep the profit of it every time though, but not on the shoe, because the shoe is physical.
but that's what NFTs are. It's reselling. It's stock market. Like that's what I was just thinking. I was like, this is all just stock market stuff.
Yeah, it's an exchange, but
See, like people aren't gonna buy stuff anymore unless there's a value to them for them. You know what I mean? It's not gonna just be about the shoe anymore. It's about, oh, can I resell this? So but I think the NFT
digital or physical?
digital.
The digital, yes, yeah.
People aren't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like the
Because
shoe
the
is cool.
The shoe is cool, but it can wear down though. Like imagine, but in the metaverse world and NFT world, like my shoe lasts forever.
Look, or the shoe. Okay, the first person buys the shoe, or they buy the NFT. The shoe comes with the NFT.
Okay.
You keep the shoes.
Yes.
Hey, I got the shoes, and I profited off of the NFT sale
because I resold
the NFT. Yeah. Stock market. Period. And the NFT protects Yeezy from getting jacked by the reseller. And that's what NFTs do. NFTs basically make sure the artist, the creator, is getting money off of the resale.
Right, but
through the royalty.
But still, they won't profit off of the resale of the Yeezy, just like a regular painting, because that's physical. So
wait. Say it again. They won't profit.
They won't profit off of the shoe, the physical shoe.
Yeah, the shoe don't matter.
Like a painter, like Basquiat.
The shoe doesn't matter. Unless you're it does matter. And you're the collector. Yeah. If you're a collector, you know what I'm saying?
We're not even just that. Like you just want the shoes because they're good shoes. But yeah.
But see, that's how NFTs work though. Like you buy the digital certificate, that's the come up. And then the utility is like the bonus, which would be the shoe.
Yeah. And then with that though, if I sell my NFT with the shoe, the resale price is higher because I'm giving you the physical and the digital. So that
could be in it.
The NFT.
That could be in it. Yeah, because like when you reprice your or resell your NFTs, you got to incorporate, enough money to pay for the gas fees and to get your money on top of what you paid, So yeah, for sure. So I don't know. And what's kind of cool, I also saw is tomorrow during the Super Bowl, they're going to do I think Budweiser is going to do some NFT stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see how corporations are trying to get into this space. I mean, they already are, but it's about to be mainstream. They're putting it on the Super Bowl. Man, my crypto better go up.
I mean, that's why the government is panicking, right? That's why China's panicking, Russia's panicking, because like companies are really getting into this, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
So they either shut it down or play ball.
Yeah, they're going to end up playing ball. They're not going to be able to shut this down.
Because that's why we crashed, right? Because of Russia and China or Russia more like banning cryptocurrency, and that's why we had that crash, not crash.
But every industry is crashing, and I think that's just because of well, it's also because the Fed, to bring the inflation down, they have to raise the interest rates, and so that when you raise interest rates, stock prices drop. I found. So, or the uncertainty like makes people feel weird. So
The uncertainty of the economy or the stock market.
yeah, because whenever the Fed raises interest rates, it helps the markets that it helps is like financial markets, insurance markets, because higher interest rates means they make more money. But higher interest rates for the everyday Joe isn't good. Like
Yeah,
higher
not at
interest rates
all.
on cars, your mortgage, like that's not good for us. So people don't spend, and that's why things crash, and they think like people aren't going to consume. But if they're giving out stimmies, like people are going to consume. I get it. Like in this inflation stuff, it's so kind of like, not that anything was bad with the economy. It's just because of the supply and demand of all the goods that people are demanding to get, and they can't get it because it's at a port. It's on the port, you guys. All these goods that we've wanting is at the port. But what's crazy to me is like I bought a lot of stuff during the pandemic,
Me too.
but I got all my stuff.
Yeah, I got all my stuff too. I mean, there was a few delays because people were different in different areas, but like I got my stuff too.
Yeah,
There's not one thing I did not. Well,
yeah,
maybe like one thing, and I
right.
just canceled it because they told me it's going to be a while, and I was like, let me just cancel it. But
Yeah,
it wasn't like some serious. It wasn't like I couldn't get it anywhere else.
right. And then I noticed like I bought a lot of Chucks in the pandemic, and they all came from China, but they went through FedEx. They didn't go through the shipping freight.
Yeah, and remember during the pandemic, like the post office debacle with the machines and stuff like that, like all that
Stupid Trump.
that I guess what do you call it? Put a damper on the delivery time at an adequate time. So yeah,
And one thing I was like, dang, Trump, he kind of started this too. But I won't completely say this, but it's just kind of a theory. Because remember his big fight, he was gonna put tariffs, or he did put tariffs
on
on
China.
China.
Yeah, yeah.
And Biden, he hasn't changed it. He kept it in place because China,
Makes
they
sense to
should
him.
pay their fair share or whatever in trade. But they somebody I can't remember who said it, but they were saying when Trump did that, this is kind of where it all started, is that when Trump did that, China was just exporting heck of stuff to get it out because they didn't want to have to pay the tariffs. And so that kind of like initiated it. And then it was the pandemic. And then it was like a shipping vessel messed up at sea. And then it was, it was just like a chain of events, man. The supply chain. It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
And it's old, and like the DMV. America needs to like revamp everything. Like,
Oh yeah. Stop taxing our social security.
man, they gotta revamp everything. Like rebuild. Like some corporations have better ideas than our government and should be implemented.
Yeah.
Like,
When does it come? When did it stop becoming about the people and start becoming about only like the 100,000 and up people? You know what I mean? Like they forget about all the people in the middle and the bottom. Fuck you guys. Like we're gonna focus on these guys because we want to live like kings. Like we all want to live like kings, and you know, be in those vanilla sky rituals and wear masks and
ugh. Scary. Yeah.
Kill ghosts
No,
in mansions.
no, but see, America, what kind of tripped me out is that economists, there was this one guy, his name was Keynes, Keynes. He was a economist. And he predicted by the time we got to where we are now that we would be having 15-hour work weeks because technology and just the advancements of everything would
Mhm.
it would have had us, at a good place. But greed, you know, like they had this chart that showed that corporate, the productivity increased, but the wages of people didn't increase. So the greed is kind of just the corporations never gave people what they were worth. And so that's why we're at the Great Resignation right now.
And then you have social media, and you watching your peers travel, buy new cars, live in, bigger houses and stuff. It makes it's not good for, regular people's mental health, because it's like, you start going into regret, you want to go to school, but it costs too much, your mental health starts going down, because it's like, man, like this guy, made partner at 25, or got a promotion at 19 years old, and I'm still working here at 30 or 40 or 50 years old in this same position. It's like
Right.
you see other people winning, and then you feel like, damn, what did or didn't I do in my life? And then that's why, like, there's so much like therapy going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People like committing suicide, and
Right.
or
But see, that's the big problem though. Like people, we can't compare our story to somebody else's story. Like we can't, like you can't
we
covet. Like
can't, but
that's
we do. That's the
right. But
problem. Like, we do.
okay, but we shouldn't. We should work on that because when you cut, like that is actually a commandment. Miss Spiritual over here.
Go ahead,
Uh
drop some science.
like we're not supposed to, like spiritually, like we're not supposed to, any, I'm sure other faiths believe this as well. Like you were not supposed to desire what and envy and want what other people have. There's a reason for that.
Right.
It taxes us. It
It
messes
does.
up our mental,
It does.
and it'll keep you down, you know?
Right. So
So
the fact that we do, we should go from that, though. You know what I mean? Because we're only human. We're only human. So we're very weak in people.
okay,
What
well
do
if
we
we're
do after? What do we do other than, or to avoid therapy? You know what I mean? How do we get that out of our mental? It's hard because we all, it's all on our phones, it's all on our TVs. We watch game shows, we watch
cut it
people
off,
win like $50,000. You know what I'm saying?
cut it off.
I agree. Cut it off and do something, volunteer work or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do something in your
Or
community.
yeah, like I mean, the Bible also speaks about being idle and being lazy. Like a lot of stuff, there are people who inherit wealth, but then there's also the hustler who works and who isn't lazy and who's always learning and is a go-getter and wants to, like, like there's a lot of stories of immigrants who have nothing and succeed. It comes down, like me and you had this conversation before, the person's will. So, I mean, yeah, we're humans, but humans are flawed. Humans, we,
Exactly. Yeah.
but that's not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm overweight. You know what I'm saying? And I still look good though. I'm juicy. But anyways, so I'm overweight, but like, what am I just supposed to not do anything and just be like,
Right. Are you supposed to
oh,
sit down on the couch and gain more weight? And yeah, yeah.
I can't just continue to blame that on me not being able to. Well, I need to fight. I need to
Right.
have will. I need to have discipline. I need to have, like, just self-control. Like you gotta have self-control, man. Like, and you have to go for it. You have to get out here. Like there's just so much in this world. And we need to be aware of, like, ourselves and get the knowledge. get the knowledge with non-perishable goods. We're trying to get you guys on the right track. We're trying to get you up off the couch and get to the money. Anyways, I've been sick all week, you guys. I haven't talked to anybody. My head's been, I've been like this. So I'm like extra animated right now. Like, I'm just happy to be alive. There was a moment where I thought I was about to die. And that's true too. Like, I feel like when you are dealt with some real pain, like some real physical pain, the emotional pain goes away. Like, physical pain puts in perspective, like, how appreciative you are of, like, just wanting to be alive and like wanting to just get back to it, because
well, hopefully that feeling will be sustained.
You feel me?
Sometimes it leaves.
It
sometimes
does.
It's fleeting.
It does, but that's why we gotta stay inspired. We gotta, like, I'm so inspired from just learning. Like, you have to find, I think, what inspires us. And for me, like, in this point in my life, what inspires me isn't like relationships, like, with people. Like, that has me all messed up. Like, I'm cool. Like, I haven't really done well with relationships for whatever reason. People are weird, or I just don't make good choices. But anyways, I am inspired by learning. I'm inspired by business, and I'm inspired by changing my community and however I could do that, and getting money and buying shoes and wearing cute earrings. But anyways, so, we just got to find what inspires us and stay right there, I think. But anyways, this is going heck long. I think it's like 5 hours long. Did we cover? I know. Did we cover everything? Capitalism? Yeah. I feel like that's everything that's going on with the economy right now. What else? Yeah, hopefully Biden gives us that 10,000 towards that. That would be helpful.
Which is only to, I think, private loans.
He's federal government. He needs to give it towards the federal loans.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. July. Oh, you mean the Biden thing? Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
What was the court case in Tennessee then? I thought the court case was the court case was a Tennessee.
Oh, that thing that was for private loans for like private schools. It seemed like.
I don't want to shout out my school because they suck. That's why they closed. But like, that was for me, and it was for private loans. Yeah. But the Biden thing is what?
I'm hoping that's just school loans, period. I didn't hear him on the campaign trail saying it's for federal or private, but he has no control over private loans.
Yeah, so forget I said that. The court case in July, that was for July in Tennessee, was for the private loans of 10,000 for certain schools that closed.
Right, and those schools closed. And I feel like, and I feel like that could be, you might be winning, like, because they jacked you guys. Basically.
Oh, they jacked us good. They bent us over and jacked us.
So I'm still praying on
no Vaseline.
Ow!
But Biden is the whole kit and caboodle, forgiveness or like a certain fraction.
Yeah, that would be good. And I mean that, like, people just want disposable income, and a lot of people that have all these, I mean, it is on us. Like, I'm one of those people who took out loans to pay for education, but I did not need all that money. So now I have to, I'm paying that money. But if I get it forgave, like, that's going to be some hundreds a month. And
what about the people who paid theirs off already? You think that's fair?
That they that's just America. That's, hey, you're a good Samaritan. Good job. You paid it off. I know people
those hours and those second, third jobs and
right. Yeah.
I mean? Yeah. Okay. They don't get no.
I mean,
compensation.
Like I paid off one of my loans, which was some thousands, like tens of thousands, I think.
I paid off 3, yeah.
So if they forget, I forgot, that's gone. That's out of my head. But I wouldn't expect to get money for that. Unless he wants to do that, like another stimmy or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hey, if that's what you want to do, give every American that attended college from the years blah 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 to blah blah blah. Here's a credit, or give us some kind of credit on our taxes.
That'd be cool.
I'll take that too, you know?
Yeah. Because I don't get like what do you want the middle class to like struggle? Do you not want us to spend money? If we travel, do you not want us to spend money at REI or Target? You know what I mean? If we want a home gym, do you not us want to spend money at Target or Walmart? Like you want us to live. Like who's gonna pay the rent? Who's gonna pay the mortgage on these properties, on these apartments, on the studios? Like you want us to maintain, right? You don't want us to be intense on the side of the street. Like give us something to look forward to. Some of us don't want to go to school. Some of us don't want to get a higher education. We're good at greeting you at Walmart. We're good at labor. You know, we're good at like driving trucks or, you know, working at the dock. Like we want to work. You know what I'm saying? Like us men, we want to be moving around and pick, you know, at U-Haul or working at fucking Home Depot. We love it. You know, we want to build houses and, you know, so
and they know
like,
this. Yeah.
So give us an edge, man, so we can
give us good jobs. Don't just give us jobs. Give us jobs where we could like not have to work so hard, but also so that we have something to do.
Well, I mean, like some of us like I like to work hard. Like I remember I was doing labor stuff. I wouldn't feel accomplished unless I sweat it, and I sweat all the time because.
But I mean, 80 hours a week. Don't you think that's a lot? Like if you work at 80.
No, yeah, that's stupid.
Unless you love your job or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like most.
And that's your whole life.
Like yeah, if we doing like hard labor stuff or construction or blah blah blah, like some of us want to get our nails dirty, you know?
Right. I mean? And there's nothing wrong with laborers jobs. There's nothing wrong with labor intensive jobs.
I'm saying like there's those kind of people who don't want to they don't need to go back to school. They just want to do that the whole time.
Well, you get a vocation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like give us
or a certification.
Give us good benefits.
Right. Experience.
Good pay. Let it, give us possible advancement in the workplace or like
on the job training,
or like you said, like nonprofit, like, you know what I mean? Like let us decide if when we want to do it and can do it, and let it be easy. Don't make it hard or expensive. Like what's the point? We got like 1 million people on the side of the street in tents who are off the grid now. You know what I mean? Their debts adding up, you know what I'm saying? It's just
people give up. Like people give up. And like my cousin says, I do not believe this, but there's a lot of people who believe in survival of the fittest. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't care about.
They're surviving though. If survival of the fittest, look, it could be easy for them to commit suicide. They are not committing suicide. They are living day to day, pissing in jars, boo-booing on the side of the street. They are surviving. They are living. You know what I mean? So if that's not survival, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's incredible. Some people, like you said, want to be off the grid.
Sure, but if you're in that circumstance and you keep surviving, you're very diligent about living, that's surviving to me. You know what I mean? Like you're willing to give up all your shit to live because you can't afford the rent because the rent's too damn high in Los Angeles, then you're living on the street, that's surviving to me. You know what I mean? You got a tent. You're watching your back. You know what I mean? Like you're sleeping in the daytime as opposed to nighttime. You know what I mean? Like
we probably could learn a lot from, we could probably learn a lot from homeless people because, they are surviving and they don't have a lot of needs and they're still surviving. Like we really need to stop being consumers of goods. Like it's out of control. Like that's why we have inflation today. But, like I really believe that. Like I live a very simple life, believe it or not. I don't.
Why would we not believe it? Because
Well,
your earrings, Jane.
I'm a little like flashy, I guess. I like stuff like clothes here and there, but I don't buy stuff all the time. All this stuff is old, like, so you know what I mean. I don't know. I just budget. I just go about things a little bit differently. I haven't always been that way, but I think we need to chill on stuff and material items. We need to live like have that simple life. Otherwise, it's going to put a lot of pressure on us to for more stuff, and you'll never be satisfied wanting more and more and more and more and more. You know, so
The
we can learn a
people,
lot. We can learn a lot from the homeless folks.
yeah, I mean, there's 5 steps ahead of the zombie apocalypse. When it zombie apocalypse happens, they're already on the street. They already, know how to live off the land, so to speak.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Maybe. Yeah. Nah, it's true. It's true. But I mean, I don't know. And I also don't see anything wrong with being successful if you put in work and you're not like hurting others to be comfortable. Like, I really do hope I am a millionaire, billionaire one day, but I'm gonna give back. Like, because I believe I'm blessed to be a blessing to others. So, and I'm very like compassionate for others and all that good stuff. So,
And I'm not
but I
extravagant either. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying, but I do like money.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like to just to be secure for my future, though. You know, like I don't have kids. I'm going to need money to live in a home or pay someone to take care of me or whatever. So my goals are a little bit different than others, probably because I do feel like I need to survive when
yeah.
I'm 70,
And I'm in this.
75.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't care about being a millionaire. I just want to be comfortable and be able to buy things when I want to instead of like divvying out the, can I can get the watermelon or the peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? Like which,
Well, that sounds good right now.
you know what I mean? Like which one, I only could get one. You know what I mean? Like that's not fair. That's not conducive
Yeah.
to me like living. That shouldn't be happening. I also shouldn't get overabundance though. You know what I mean? Because that's how we get fat. But
Yeah.
just get
Indulgence, gluttony.
exactly. Just get what I need and get out and hopefully be able to take care of my parents or whoever anybody who needs it or whatever. But I don't. I'm not. I hate money, but I know that we need it.
Yeah, we definitely need it. And we got to change our thinking of how to get it because our economy is changing right before our eyes and we need to be prepared. This is like preparedness. You got to be prepared because this is they're already calling it. They're already talking about it, you guys. Um, it could be really bad if they don't address this issue of the workforce and the economy. So the people have the power.
People, we have the power, dude. We can go crazy like Egypt and what's his face, or we could work together and make
Yeah.
a better
I
state.
yeah, I believe in a civil society. Like that's civility is for me, I believe is the way to live. I don't know. And I feel like in this day and age, radical ideas are really just basic ideas. But
Hmm.
anyways, that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that another day. But yeah, if you guys are here with us, thank you for listening. Non-perishable goods. We out.